President al-Assad emphasizes that there is a military and social turning point as well as a growing public awareness of what's happening in Syria. Security and stability are restored to the town of al-Sarkha in Damascus Countryside, and Syrian Arab army is maintaining control over the surrounding mountains. Peace Not Fighting is the title of the seminar held at Damascus University by the Advocates of Peace delegation, which includes intellectuals, politicians, producers and doctors who came in solidarity with the Syrian people. With public, official and cultural activities from different governorates, the festival of Sheikh Saleh Al-Ali kicks off in Tartus. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our news for today. President Bashar al-Assad emphasized that the intellectual war and attempts to abolish or replace the identity are of the gravest forms of the colonial aggression targeting Syria. During a meeting with the teaching staff and postgraduate students at the Faculty of Political Sciences in Damascus, President al-Assad pointed out that the Arab region was originally based on the ideology of correlation between Arabism and Islam, which makes adherence to this principle one of the most important factors for restoring security as well as intellectual and social stability to the Arab societies. The president added that the West has tried to abolish this ideology so as to dominate the region and to control the role of the Arab countries. But when it failed, the West resorted to play on concepts and terms to change the essence of the ideology. President al-Assad said the intellectuals and academics have a role to look into the terms and put clear-cut meanings to them in order to confront attempts of marketing different meanings that seek to empty the ideologies of their content, a thing that threatens the feeling of belonging and would make deviation from the main causes for which we have been struggling for decades. Activities of the annual conference of Syrian physicians have kicked off under the motto, Syria's physicians believe that Syria's democratic and pluralistic future embodies the Syrian people's civilization and deep-rootedness. Prime Minister Dr. Wael al-Halaqi delivered a speech at the opening ceremony in which he underscored the importance of medical services, treatment and preventive sector in strengthening the process of building and defending the homeland together with our courageous army. Participants will tackle many topics, among them the challenges facing the physicians' work due to the aggressive acts perpetrated by the terrorists against the Syrians, medical care institutions in particular that provide medical services to all Syrians across Syria. Head of the international delegation of peace activists, Mary Maguire, said that the people who love peace came from all around the world to Syria to voice rejection of Takfiri terrorism, stressing the need to call things by their names away from the lies, misleading and propaganda carried out by anti-Syrian media.
During a visit to Damascus University, Maguire called upon Syrians to work together to realize peace through dialogue and learn from the example of other countries, voicing deep sorrow over the crimes of murder, displacement, destruction and abduction committed by the terrorists.
I have enjoyed my visit to Syria. I've been inspired by the people here and their courage and their commitment to building peace, reconciliation and a political solution as the Syrian people. I do believe that that will happen. It's very important that outsiders don't interfere in the affairs of the Syrian people. They choose their own political way forward, and I'm very hopeful for the future. Unfortunately, we did have war propaganda and we were getting the wrong information out of what was happening in Syria. But increasingly, we are hearing the true story of what is happening in Syria. And we're very hopeful when people hear the true story, that it is a proxy war, that people here are working for peace and want to solve their problems through peaceful means, that will happen.
In turn, activist Dr. Declan Hayes from Southampton University displayed images and documents showcasing U.S. crimes against humanity in Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Syria and other countries through the U.S. support for terrorism.
Okay, well, the first thing is you must stop the Takfiri winning. And that is a job for the Syrian army. Without the Syrian army, over 1 million people would be killed in Syria and in Damascus. And the plan is that nobody hears the voice of the Syrian people. So what I'm doing and what the Iranians are doing, we're trying to help the universities have a voice. We're trying to get Syrian leaders, religious leaders, political leaders, visas for the West. The voice of the Syrian people has to be heard. The voice of civilization has to be heard. And that is our job as well as your job.
Hayes said that the visits he conducted in Syria along with the other delegation members allowed him to get a sense of the scale of Syrian sufferings due to the crimes of terrorists backed by states that embed the culture of death and wars, primarily the United States.
A military source indicated that Syrian Arab army units have restored security and stability to al-Sarkha town in al-Qalamun in Damascus Countryside and controlled the mountains surrounding the town after killing a large number of terrorists. Moreover, Syrian Arab army units restored security and stability to Maaloula town, killed a large number of terrorists in the surrounding areas, and dismantled mines and explosive devices planted by the terrorists inside the town. A Syrian Arab army unit controlled the eastern mountains overlooking Rankous, eliminating many terrorists and destroying their weapons and equipment.
In Damascus Countryside, the Syrian Arab Army units established full control over the eastern heights overlooking Rankous Plain in al-Qalamun area. A field commander said this was carried out via a series of concentrated operations which resulted in the elimination of a number of terrorists, destroying other weapons and ammo, and disabling numerous explosive devices they had planted and rigged for detonation in the heights and roads leading to them, with these explosives ranging in weight between 25 and 50 kilograms. The commander pointed out that by seizing these heights, the terrorist supply routes between the Lebanese borders and Rankous and other areas have been cut off, facilitating the pursuit and elimination of terrorists northeast of Rankous. Army operations in the area resulted in destroying several headquarters of terrorist groups' leaders in the plain and Al-Mahabba villages, and the destruction of their weapons, which included heavy machine guns, RPG launchers, explosives and rifles.
The acts of the armed terrorist groups in Syria and the support from the conspiring countries on the Syrian government revealed by some of the Western newspapers.
The American Veterans Today newspaper has published an article entitled "The American Contractors," written by Jeffrey Silverman, who disclosed the U.S. and Turkey's involvement in the chemical attack carried out in Syria. In an article published in the independent newspaper, Patrick Cockburn said that the American Secretary of State John Kerry and the U.S. Ambassador at the UN Samantha Power were exercising pressure to supply the terrorists with more arms and logistic aid, despite the clear evidence that those terrorists adopt the same ideology of al-Qaeda. Cockburn further said that the last attack waged by the terrorists on Lattakia's northern countryside was under the command of Chechen and Moroccan jihadists fighting in Syria. He concluded his article by saying that the U.S. had done all it could to keep its role in supplying the terrorists in Syria with arms secretly through using agents and fake companies. Silverman added that a video was circulated earlier showing how sarin agent was transferred from an American laboratory in Georgia to Syria via Turkey, and that the former American Senator Richard Lugar facilitated this operation backed by Washington and Ankara. The New York Times said that the crisis in Syria attracted a large number of terrorists, especially from Jordan, as their numbers doubled those who went to Iraq and Afghanistan.
Finally, in Damascus Countryside and in commemoration of the Independence Day, the activities of Sheikh Saleh Al Ali Festival kicked off in Sheikh Badr city.
The kicking off of the festival witnessed massive public turnout from different provinces. Tartus Governor Nizar Musa said that the locals of Tartus and the Sheikh Badr are determined to keep the memory of Sheikh Saleh Al Ali alive through the festival that is considered an outstanding cultural phenomenon in the province. The governor asserted that the Syrian people won't allow the repeat of history, as they will defeat all the attempts of the French government, headed by Hollande, in weakening the Syrian Arab army and supporting terrorism and the Takfiri thoughts. Secretary of Tartus branch of Al-Ba'ath Arab Socialist Party Ghassan Assad emphasized the importance of the festival in invoking the memory of inspiring figures in the Syrian history, namely Sheikh Saleh Al Ali, who was one of the heroes of independence against the French occupation. Earlier, Tartus governor and Al-Ba'ath Party secretary visited the tomb of Sheikh Saleh Al Ali and laid a wreath of flowers, and visited the museum that contains some of the precious possessions of Sheikh Al Ali. The exhibition displayed a total of 65 artworks by 26 artists, with the topics varying between nature, folklore, and the sublime meanings of the Independence Day. Poems by 7 poets were recited during the festival that extolled the concept of independence. The festival, which lasts until Wednesday, showcases a unique cultural mixture of art and folklore exhibition, poetry symposiums, musical concerts, and open dialogue sessions. Sheikh Saleh Al Ali, who was born in 1884 in Al-Sheikh Badr area on the Syria coast, was a prominent leader who commanded the Syrian revolt against the French occupying forces.
With this, we end our news for today. Thank you for watching. For more details about Syria and the region, and to view this bulletin again, you can always visit our website in English, syriaonline.sy. Now to latest business and market news with Vani Gunjan, but after a short break.